You are welcome. Your program code extraction. Firstly, I like to tell you what is the mission and objective of this program. Because I am assistant professor in psychology and working in many universities all over Arab countries, have many clinic, psychological therapist clinic in Arab countries also. I saw many Arab people, many Muslim people there that make me think about discuss Islam from psychological science aspects. I like to find the answer to many questions about the personality of the Quran writer as a book and also the prophet of Islam, Muhammad, who is affect of many people, nearly 1,000 and a half till now, and also the successors to him and his wives. I like to make psychoanalysis to the person who believes in that ideas and principles which written at this book. I like to make a discussion which aim to shed light on the psychological backgrounds of up-to-date news. Every day we hear news about terrorism and violence and people killed in many countries. Looks like France. I like to understand and answering some questions why that is happening. Who is behind these events? Where and to will get supported? Why I choose the name of my program code extension. If you convert to Islam, you have to study Arabic language or at least pray with it. If you pray with another language, this is not acceptable. The God of Muslim not accept any language. He he only understand Arabic language. So I search in Quran, I find it full of language errors in sentence grammar and language structures. There are many talasims and symbols unknown of meaning or significance. If you are a researcher, you will lost. If you like to understand any text at Quran, you will lost. If you ask people about it, some people tell you this is burner and the other people tell you this is covet and you couldn't understand what is covet and burner. As there is no agreeable between Muslims scientific in Purner and Kabet, also Quran is full of verses that cannot be understandable. You couldn't understand more text at Quran except you go to two people to explain this to you. The huge problem in Quran that is there is no one tell you the same to other. Everyone has his explanation and his opinion also. This is a big huge problem also in Quran. Pronouns. Pronouns in Quran is mixed. At the same text you find the writer talking with the speaker and absent, and after that talking to you directly and talking with absent pronounced again. You couldn't understand. Is the writer like to confuse you, or what is the problem? What happened all over the world for violence and terrorism makes me thinking about the personality of these people making these problems. The Quran writer, Prophet Muhammad of Islam, his wives and the successors to him, all that need to put in a spot of psychology to understand their personality and behavior and active and reactive. The Quran as a book, I like to make analysis to him. I like to analysis to the writer of this book. I like to analysis to the words in it. I like to put him in a spot under the psychological science, neuropsychology, and psychoanalysis. For sure, I think we need to understand what is that book. We have some questions on the sidelines of code extraction. Why Islam hates psychoanalysis? Why Muslims at Arab countries don't like psychology? This question answered by Dr. Ben Salama in many ways. At 2002 and 2009 he trying to answer the question why Islam is opposite to the categories of psychoanalysis. Is this related to the founder of the theory? Really, I understand the problem because I lived in Arab countries. I understand the problem between Muslim and psychology at all, Dr. Yunus, Dr. Salama, not only the problem of psychoanalysis. They refuse at all to coming to therapist or psychologist because they thinking that is coming from Jewish thoughts. They thinking because Freud is the founder, all things in psychology coming from Jewish. As Muslim people, they refused anything coming from Jewish people. Is it because Freud considered the religion as a delusion and didn't exist? Is this because the religion is a major factor in Freud's work? What would Freud say about Islam? Dr. Yunus talking about Dr. Salama talking about the relation between Islam and religion. Really, Freud don't take any attention to Islam. However, he thinking Islam or Iman is a delusion, is a problem. He don't like to talking about this point directly. Freud talking about Jewish, Hebrew, people, Jewish people, and also Christian people, and don't like or don't give attention to Islam directly because he thinks that is the despair of the abandoned child. He thinking about Islam has a problem inside it. Islam still remains subject to Freud's thesis. Because I work at Arab countries, I found more people there written on Freud's theory. However, they like to talking about the issue of sex between Freud and Islam. Looks like this book. This is the link of that book. You will find it. This is the link of that book. You will find it in internet if you like to revision my resource and read it. You will find that at internet. He talking about the writer talking about the sex. I don't know why people in Arab countries, professional people in Arab countries, like to take the sex aspect, the sex part of Freud's theory and making a difference between Freud's understanding or Freud's opinion and Islam understanding or opinion. I don't know why they concentrate on sex part. Really, I don't know what is the relation between Islam and sex. Is this book for faithful? Islam is a book for faithful? Quran is a book for faithful or for arranging sex between people? I don't know. We will make analysis to this book at future at the next episodes, and we will see what is Islam talking and solving and dealing with the sexual problems between people. What are the practical impact of this in practice this doctrine? If Muslim be a good Muslim, what is the implications of this in his life and in his behavior? This is a big problem in Islam because he is still thinking about impotence. He thinks people have to be alone. In the other side, you will find Christianity and Jewish people talking about that is human being, the person in this earth is a son of God. They thinking about incarnation and about the Son of God. Is this let people to feel safety? If you are a child in Jewish or Christianity, this is protect you, this is salvate you, this is help you to find the Father, to be a child and return every time to the Father image or Father shape or Father good Father, and tell him to salvate you, to protect you, to help you. On the other side, Islam don't talk about the Father or the God looks like a father. He he thinks that is God Samad. Samad meaning didn't generate and wasn't born. So this is God is separated totally from the human being, from the people at the earth. So no one thinking about the protection and the salvation. What is the role of that God? The role of Allah, as they named God in Islam, they named God as Allahu Akbar. This God coming to the earth to watch you. Yes, God at Islam coming to watch you, and after that he will take you if you make sins and put you at hell. Wait your role to die and go to hell. If you are Muslim, yes, really. I don't joke, yes. What are the social consequences that result from this God who is separated from human status? As usual, we like to find a good father who help us, to protect us, who salvate us, who forgive our sins, who looks like. However, this God coming to here to let you separate it correctly. You are not, you don't have any relation with this God. You are separated from him. So this God asks you for two very dangerous thinking. You live at this earth haphazard. You do what you like to do because you don't have anyone to forgive your sins. And on the other way, pride thinking also that is all of you, if you are Muslim, have all of the responsibility to what you do in this earth. You will return to this God who watch you in Islam, and he will put you on hell because you make bad things. If you make small, or you make more, or you make looks like, you will go to hell for sure. What that ideas let people thinking in Islam? Every time Muslim thinking of guilt. Yes, he make everything and still thinking why I do that. Feeling of guilt. As Dr. Ben Salama gave us two examples about the feeling of guilt in Islam. One of them, this woman's wearing and covering more and more and more. And he tells that is Freud talking about this idea because he analyzes this behavior of this woman, that is they think that their body making some sexual attractive to others, so they have to do something looks like victim to cover this is problem because they will making interruption and making sexual attract to others. So they covered and covered and covered in a role of victims. Also terrorism and violence. You will find in another photo the other example of Freud of people who killing other and killing themselves. These people thinking to kill themselves, to ask God to forgive their sins by this way, and also killing people. As a famous person who making trouble all over the world and terrorism, Osama bin Laden. This is another questions also talking in the books of Dr. Yunus, Dr. Salama. He asking how this way of thought affects on the Islamic world. Really, yes. Because God, Allahu Akbar in Islam, watch you every time you still, even though, even interrupted, or you will be not care, don't care about this watching totally. At Islam, this is something different because they think we are far from of God. We are separated for God, so they don't think we have any relation of Him. As Muslims thought, they refuse the shape of God when He come to to the world and in incarnation, and He looks like us. This idea makes people thinking that God couldn't feel our feelings. God couldn't understand our wants, our needs, our things. He couldn't understand that. So people still thinking, is God understand us? Is God understand what we need? What is the relation between Muslim and God, Allah Akbar in Islam? They are separated. To what extent can a psychology explanation for the phenomena of violence and terrorism? Really, fundamentalism people talking about that. Fundamentalism people thinking we have not take any new things. We have not to deal with new things. We have to live at the Prophet of Islam Muhammad left before. So we have not to use anything is coming to our countries from Europe or America or looks like. They hate that. What is the reason? What is the reason of thinking looks like that? They afraid. They afraid of everything. And this is making more panic attacks and hallucination in the clinic. If you see Muslims people, they come to you with panic attacks and hallucination. They afraid, and that is making a huge gap between Muslim and God. Also, the speech, the text, whose Muslim pray with, is very separated feelings. You don't find any feeling in that text. You talking about something and you have another feeling and needs and emotion and something you want to tell directly to God of Islam, Allahu Akbar, and this is not allowed for you. What is exactly the dispute between the Islamic world and modernity? They really like to still as fundamentalism left. They like to live looks like prophets of Islam Muhammad live. They like to live the same way he lived. It Is Islam gives a solution of the Muslims' feeling of guilt? Yes, for sure. You have two ways to solve your problem of and feeling of guilt in Islam. You could kill yourself and killing the non-Muslim people also because God Allahu Akbar like that. And as a woman you could go to married without any marriage with other men, as you see in Syria and Iraq and all countries now, and Muslim women have to cover all of his body because they like to reduce feeling of guilt. In the next episode, you will be with me in some questions. We try to answer it. Why do some people think that there is a conflict or a difference between the Muslim as a human being in his behavior, actions, and reaction? Also, we try to answer about do we need for a new school in the Islamic psychoanalysis to could understand Muslims. I'll try to cover all. I don't think I could cover because it's full of linguistic errors in the Quran. I'll try to give more and more examples of the problems in linguistic errors in Quran and code extraction. Happy to be with you today. Happy with your viewer and listening and following our program. I hope you write your opinion, write your answers, write your questions, write everything you like. I wait you and wait your follow of our program. Good day. Goodbye.